asshole gets publicly humiliated before the entire student body and his parents and grandmother. This story happened when I was in high school. I went to a smallish high school, around 950 students ranging from the 9th to the 12th grade. With so many students in one place, I had quite a few good friends that I talked to, but only a handful that I hung out with and talked with on a daily basis. Now, there was a certain person in our social group. Let's call him Bailey. Bailey was a social outcast by many people's standards. Not by bullying or hazing or mistreatment from other students. It's just that no one really liked him because he was an asshole all the time. He was always playing the victim when he was rejected by girls. He threatened to ruin the lives of said girls when they did reject him. He harassed girls online and touched them in uncomfortable places in person after being told to stop, like the stomach, lower back and neck. He begged for money off of people. He was sexist and a racist person to all races and ethnicities. He put himself into other people's conversations and generally wasn't a very nice person to hang around. I have a really good friend. Let's call her A. A has been my best friend ever since I can remember. And she's a wonderful, sweet and generous person to everyone. One day before we got out for winter break, A came up to me in the hallway before the end of school, bawling her eyes out. I asked her to tell me what's wrong, and she said that Bailey had asked her out before she went to her class over text. But when she declined, after explaining that she already had a boyfriend, all hell broke loose. He called her one word: slut. He said she should kill herself because of how fat she was. He said no one loved her because she was a mixture of the two worst races, and said that no one would want her because she's a C-word. He also said she has a stinky woohoo area. A had some insecurities about herself, and Bailey hit every single one of them point bloody blank. I was fluffing, seething with rage while reading her text, and I was completely appalled and disgusted at his behavior. I told her to dry her eyes and send me screenshots of the conversations he had with her. When she asked what I was going to do with them, I simply told her that I had enough of him harassing girls and I was going to do something about it. Now, I was not going to confront him directly, not with how angry I was at the moment. Instead, I decided to rally the troops and get ready for the bloodbath. I was going to massacre what was left of his entire high school career, his entire life. Now, Bailey had done this to girls before, and luckily, I had those girls' numbers saved in my phone because they're my friends and we would send each other memes. So I made a group chat and asked everyone to send any type of rude, racist, sexist, or failed attempt to be asked out screenshot over any type of social media that Bailey had sent to them. Over the next 15 minutes, my phone was blaring with text notifications. There were screenshots of Snapchat stories, Facebook comments, text messages. All in all, I had around 60 photos of sexist, racist, failed dick pics, or asshole comments, or rants that he made to 15 females, including myself. Over winter break, I composed all those screenshots into a nice little PowerPoint and saved it in my flash drive on my laptop. I spoke with our principal and I asked him if I could show him something relevant to the safety of the student body during his free break at lunch. He told me that he had no problem with it and time was set. When it finally comes down for my meeting with the principal, I have a small parade of girls behind me who wanted to come testify, anxiously holding on each other's hands. We were invited into the principal's private conference room as he sets up his laptop and plugs my flash drive in to connect it to the projector. The principal called in some teachers to be witnesses and called Bailey down to the conference room to take a seat and try to defend himself if the allegations weren't true. The principal clicks the remote to play my presentation and it slowly begins to load up. The first slide comes up and the room goes deathly silent, besides a few gasps of shock. As the slides continue on, I notice Bailey is squirming around in her seat, uncomfortable, and the people in the room are getting more agitated and angry. Halfway through the slides, Bailey jumps to his feet and throws his arms in front of the projector screen to censor out a particular image that he had sent to a girl. Even though she had blurred it out, he tried to explain that he was joking with the comments about race and being a guy or girl, and that these girls were framing him for something he didn't do. He pointed to me and said that I was the ringleader of this operation and that I should be the one who was being thrown on the spot, not him. The entire room was tense, and the principal turned on the lights and his hands on his hips, and a giant sigh. The principal turns to me and says thank you for bringing this to my attention, and he asks if he could take the flash drive and use it for investigations and alleged rumors that were going on about Bailey. I gave it to him and he thanked me again, before he left with Bailey and the teachers in tow. Since I copied the original slideshow to my cat flash drive, I sent the PowerPoint to not only mutual friends at the school, but also to his mum and dad through Facebook. All of them were absolutely disgusted by his comments, but his family members were extremely distraught, but thankful I brought this up to their attention. A few days later, the entire school was summoned to the gym for an announcement. Bailey was there with his parents on either side of him and his frail grandmother on the small stage we have set up for concerts and band productions. The slideshow is playing on repeat on a projector in the background for everyone to see. The principal said a few words about how harassment in any shape, form, or fashion would not be tolerated, and neither would sexism or any form of racist behavior or comments. The principal made Bailey apologize publicly to the school about his behavior and how he would never do it again. His parents were embarrassed, but they also apologized to the school and to the young ladies that he had harassed. His grandmother did not let him off so easily. She slapped his knee with her cane hard and started yelling at him for being so disgusting and such a disappointment to her and the rest of the family. Bailey started to cry on stage as his mother and father tried to calm down his grandmother. Once everything calmed down, they were escorted off the property. He was suspended for the rest of the year for verbal harassment and racist comments. Later on in the same year, I found out that he tried to rob a grocery store and was now facing trial for battery, assault with a deadly weapon, and armed robbery. My friends and I all graduated happily, and I never saw Bailey again. And I really hope you don't get to see him for the rest of your life. It's still a shock that people like Bailey do exist in our everyday lives, and I encourage everyone who faces this type of harassment in any way, shape or form to speak up about it and make it public. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Originals for more videos like this. We upload a video each day, so stay tuned.